This is the Elder Games Master. I'm James, and I just finished up with Gen Con recently, and I am finishing setting up in this case, but this is one of those older games, as it were. This is 7 Days to Die. Again, I'm the Elder Games Master. I'm James, and I think I've got it. Oh, there it is in the background as well, and there's noise going on in the background. There we go. Okay. A little bit of echo in this case, but 7 Days to Die, it's one of those, I say, older games. This has supposedly been in beta. This is in 2026 at the moment. If you're watching this right now, this is in August of 2026, and 7 Days to Die has been developing now for easily over a decade. I want to say maybe even a decade and a half. It is cross-play. It is something you can play with friends. There actually is a first-person and a third-person view you can use to it. It's got a real depth to it after this much development. And this is, and literally, and I'm already letting time go by just setting up for this, but you may notice at the very top it says Day 1, time is 7:42, and I've played this a lot. This is actually a dedicated server. If you want to play on this world as well, literally not only is the name of the server HostelZ, capital H, small O-S-T-E-L, like a hostel you might stay at. So hostel with a capital Z at the end, all one word. So HostelZ, this is actually, you can create this map yourself. If you want to go to in 7 Days to Die, you simply go to the random world generator. You put HostelZ in as the world seed name, and you can name the server itself. You can even give it a password if you want. And now, spawning at the beginning, especially if the first person on a server is at random. But this is me wanting to walk through the very first day with you. We'll see how it goes. This is why I'm calling this live wisdom. This is me giving advice as I am playing the game. Now, daylight hours. This is, first of all, this is a zombie game. This is also a very adult game in terms of the level of violence that's going on. So, and that's not the focus today, though. This is about beginner tips, but I would recommend this is more of a game for adults, as it were. In any case, first of all, this note, I am not even going to bother reading it in this case. This is just me getting it out of my inventory, and luckily enough, bird nests are nice to have. In this case, I'm getting 10 feathers. Feathers are useful for arrows in this case. This is the inventory. This is just me. This is how I like to personally set up my inventory. You may notice down in the lower left-hand corner, over here in this case, the blue bar is your stamina. The red bar is your health. Don't run out of that at all. Green is your hunger level, and blue is your thirst level in this case. These two will constantly be, I think this one just changed even. These two will constantly be reducing. In this game, you have to eat, you have to drink, and preferably pure water and cooked good food. So, but if you're just starting the game, you should have landed just the same way that I did. In this case, I managed to find a bird nest. I mean, I really am hoping I find more. But in the upper right-hand corner is where the tutorials are. So let me go through the tutorial with you. Opening up the tutorial, in this case, we're talking about this right here. Absolutely find this menu, and by the way, this is me playing on PlayStation, so it's L1 and R1 to select through all of these menus over here. But I strongly recommend the tutorial. You want to go over here to this, and you want to hit redeem, and then you want to go right next to it and select that as well. Now this will give you literally like what you should do. In this case, plant fibers are literally all this grass that is sticking out of the ground. Now, I mentioned this is philosophy as well. This is, I was doing a permadeath Fallout style game, and to be completely honest, I tend to play most games permadeath style, so, which means there are And I find that video games are a very safe way to channel what you know in reality into kind of a safe place, safe-ish, as it were. Obviously, the game itself may have some difficulties. In any case, currently I'm on the tutorial for 7 Days to Die. My name is James, by the way. I go by Elder Games Master not only online but also at conventions when I go to them. Gen Con this year was a solid. That was just this past weekend. It was a very solidly good time. There was a tornado that hit. I actually just posted a short on YouTube about that. Okay, in any case, you may have noticed there were little yellow icons, not for the plants, not for plant fibers. Plant fibers are everywhere, and I actually recommend having some extras. These actually will give you a piece of wood. They're basically small branches, and this gives wood as well. By the way, in the lower right-hand corner is where you can see like what resources you're actively collecting when you are, say, salvaging or scavenging or what have you in this case. Okay, so with a tutorial, they're like craft a stone axe. If you open up your inventory, for me on PlayStation, that is a circle. The buttons, I believe, can be customized, so it may be different for you. In this case, I'm going to craft. And then actually, I like having my very first tool. Like this is where I keep my tools and weapons, and then there's healing, food, and torches. This, by the way, I believe is 7 Days to Die version 3.1 something in this case. Here in the forest, especially, rain gets cold. It's not Arctic cold, and there is an Arctic biome. But the torch, if for some reason your character starts to get cold, the torch is good for warming up. Now, where am I at on the map in this case? I actually prefer to start near the center of the map if possible. I am arguably way too far north. I need to be traveling south. Let me finish up the tutorial first, though. Now, it wants me to be harvesting wood. I will warn you, by the way, the threat level kind of, they call it heat. Heat in this is the threat level of potentially zombies showing up. Now, in this case, like chopping down a tree, the noise will increase the threat level. This harvesting it wants you to do. You'll want to find a tree. You'll want to find a large rock like this one. But if I just completely destroy the rock, I believe, and this is just based on my own personal wisdom, I believe the sound of the rock increases zombie threat. Completely chopping down a tree increases zombie threat, for example. You may have noticed, and I flashed by it, I was relatively undressed. The very next thing after harvesting, like, here's how you harvest from trees, stones, really just about anything with the stone axe. Next thing I should do, let's get modest and wear some clothes. Now, this is the crafting menu right here. This is your clothing and your stats, for example. Core character traits are located right here numerically. Numerically, other stats. What is it that I like most? Armor rating. I believe armor rating can go all the way up to 90. Stats for running. Running stats are slightly different than walking stats. They also burn through food and water much faster in this case. But if you want to be getting away from a zombie, running is the thing to do. Continuing across just quickly here. Map. This right here will indicate, in this case, there is a 0/0 central point on all maps. This indicates I'm 135. I believe this is meters or blocks. Meters are blocks, effectively. Blocks are 3x3x3 blocks, effectively. So I'm about 135 blocks from the center of the map, 1,296 blocks north from the center of the map. I really would prefer to head south. I believe north is actually... The wasteland is considered the end game in this game, and the wasteland, I believe, on the HostelZ World Seed is specifically north. I want to say northeast even, but I'm not entirely sure. This is technically, here's the thing, I can be found on Gmail under Elder Games Master at Gmail. This is a server. This is a 24/7 server that I'm running. Do not grief. This is a cooperative server. Oh, another bird's nest. You're going to want to find, especially if you like using the bows, part of the tutorial is, and I should get back to the tutorial, like let's make some weapons. Make a very, very not good wooden club. Now it wants me to make a primitive bow. Now the reason you needed the bird's nests was for these stone arrows. And by the way, when you're crafting stuff, this list right here will be like, okay, in order to make an arrow, I need one small stone. Here's the one small stone, one wood, and one feather. The feathers are why you need the bird nest. By the way, because I found a bird nest so quickly, it didn't give me the indicator. When you're here in the tutorial, it'll give you an indicator if you haven't picked up any feathers whatsoever. It'll be like, here's where you can find some feathers. Okay, this is me organizing my inventory a little bit, and actually I kind of like using the bow, and I'm actually glad I picked up this many feathers. If you move stuff around here, like if I pick this up, now it's going to put that over here. You can simply manually stack things. There are shortcuts for a lot of things. Again, this game has been in development for 4 years. Okay. And that's really as much of the basic tutorial as it gives. Now it wants me to go back into this window. And then literally, again, I'm on PlayStation. If you hit redeem, triangle, 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 all the way across. And now it'll be like, go find a tradesman. And knowing my luck... Okay, they are at least... Good job, survivor. Yay! Okay. I am... What time am I at? I'm 11:24 a.m. Not bad, not great, but not bad. Now, chopping on trees, I don't think generates zombie threat too much. But knocking them over, absolutely, like, that definitely will. This is... I strongly suggest collecting wood. There are these blocks called building blocks, and you'll see me using them. I'm only going to chop these trees about halfway down at the moment. Oh, I'm about 500 meters southeast. Okay, I got a ways to travel in this case. I definitely suggest the tutorial. I suggest a journey to settlement. And then, and these are under challenges. Like, there's questing that you can do for traders, which is kind of, this is a go find a tradesman. And then there are challenges. I actually suggest, if nothing else, the basics of survival, definitely do that. And then homesteading is fairly easy to do very early on. I strongly suggest doing all of these challenges as well. And finishing an entire row of these things will give you a reward at the end. So at this point, speaking of rewards, by doing that tutorial, I now have, under skills, I have 4 skill points. I should talk about these as I'm moving, by the way. So skills are actually broken into stat types of skills in this case. There's perception, strength, fortitude, agility, intelligence. As of this update, there are some general skills. I'll mention the ones I recommend. There are special skill books that will teach you special skills. Things like, in this case, for example, the archery. For example, you have to find specific skill books which will teach you these skills. Now, by doing the tutorial, and this is back under general skills, I have 4 points I can immediately spend just by doing that tutorial. So, things I might recommend, if you already know, and this I would suggest checking online, there are specific armor types for specific play styles. Heavy armor, I won't get into the different armor types. Me personally, there's a light armor type that I like. Light armor is what I might take. At the beginning, I'm almost tempted to take Master Chef right now, because Master Chef will make cooking things quicker. Cook 40% faster. It's about halfway down that list. Lucky Looter, some people like Lucky Looter. Now, each stat type has 2 weapon types associated with it. I believe spear and rifles is perception, for example. Strength is clubs, sledgehammers, and I want to actually make myself a sledgehammer, and shotguns. Fortitude is machine guns and punching and boxing. Knuckles, for example, brass knuckles. Agility, there's archery and pistols and knives. And then intelligence is batons, stun batons, and robotics. And I'm about to make it much harder on myself because I'm going to go with intelligence. I'll put 3 points in here for right now. This does not make any difference. You may notice it makes a difference in terms of I now do extra headshot damage. If I can hit zombies in the head, I'll be doing, what does that say, 230% headshot damage? Which is kind of why instead of this bat-like club, and this is me kind of going off script, under crafting, under these basics, I could stick with the base right there, but if I go to ammo here, and then if I go down, and there's multiple pages, that's what this one is. For me, I'm using the right stick to go to the second page. I'm looking for stone sledgehammer. I'm actually not even seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? Let me check back under the primitive, the basics. Oh, don't tell me I can't make a sledgehammer. That would be bad. Maybe I'm just missing it in the list somewhere. Stone spear. This is me looking up sledgehammer. If I just look up the word sledgehammer, there we go. Stone sledgehammer. Now, if you can't make if you can't make all of the parts, if you're missing parts, like in this case, I'm missing 4 of 10 of small stones. I need more stones. You can actually hit track, and at this point, like on my compass is the exclamation point for the trader. I still need to be heading in this direction, but now because I'm looking for small stones, this will tell me in the upper right corner. It's now like, okay, you've made a quest of crafting an item in this case. It'd be nice if I could, there we go. There's a larger stone. I can just, that harvesting, okay, there's a zombie in the distance too. And actually, I don't think, there is a crouch. Okay. I hear a second one. I think right behind me even. Let me get away from these. Yes, maybe I could fight them here. I don't even have the stone sledgehammer made that I want to make. Aha, there were 2, right there and right there. Okay. Let me keep going towards, I'm heading towards the exclamation point. The compass up above, north, south, east, west, southeast in this case, the trader I'm supposed to be finding is between east and southeast. That's the direction I'm heading in. And there are another, yeah, the zombies are already starting to show up. I should mention, by the way, with World Seeds, there are a couple different ways you can play this PvP, completely competitive. I prefer with no killing rule on, which means we're collaborative in this case. I play this collaboratively, both with friends, and this is a server that I'm hosting. As long as people can be playing well together, like I'm okay with other people showing up. And the World Seed, again, the World Seed, capital H, OSTEL, capital Z, all one word. The stamina, I should mention the stamina. Like right now, if you have a little, it has like, I have like a running man down there next to my stamina bar, and my stamina goes down quickly. If I take that off, now I'm walking. If you're running, you're burning more of, if you think of your food and your water as your fuel effective. Ooh, I want to stay away from that. Military camps might have landmines around them, so that looks kind of militaresque. I want to stay away from that. I am absolutely too far up north. Way too far up north. I already recognize where I'm at. And right over there, you can maybe even see it in the distance over there. Do you see those ripped up trees? That's wasteland. That's the end game area. Yeah, no. I need to find a different vendor in this case. By the way, Wrecked is always the beginning vendor. This trader Wrecked is always the beginning vendor. In the background, give me a second. Of course. Okay, that was just a friend. Wrecked is a jerk. I'll just tell you right now. For some reason, there are some really nice vendors, and then there's Wrecked. And they start us with Wrecked, okay? He is an unpleasant older gentleman. Wrecked has a lot of... Okay, I should take a step back. He has a lot of stuff we can search. And as long... Like, whatever gate you come in, especially if it's day one like it is for me at the moment, whatever gate you come in, close the gate behind you, By default, at least, the zombies cannot come into the trader. They cannot break in here. So this is a safe zone, but again, by default, only during the day. There are a number, like the trucks, for example. Those were broken workstations. And specifically, I'm finding vehicles that, especially if something looks wrecked sideways like that. Not wrecked the trader, but... Oh, I wish that it actually had some books. Books are the primary way of learning in this version of the game. This one, for example, improve your vehicle crafting skill. This one, improve your workstation skill. This, I absolutely want. These, I absolutely want. This, I need to get this up to a point where I can actually build a forge. The book is literally called Forged Ahead. Building a forge will make life much easier. I will mention at the back, at somewhere in every trader location, there's this combine station. There are starred loot items you can get. Like I have a stone axe. If I find a starred stone axe, first of all, its stats will be better than this. And the stats that are better than something show up in green right through here. Stats that are worse show up in red. Combining allows you to take two identical items. In this case, I could take two stone axes, combine a stone axe, even at a lower level, if I have a higher level stone axe, combine it with the stone axe I'm currently using, and then click on result, and it will put the two items back in my inventory. I'll actually do this as an example. You know, I haven't even finished my crafting quest that I gave myself. Stone sledgehammer. Part of the reason I like the stone sledgehammer, A, it does a good amount of damage. B, it swings in a straight down arc. Club swings side to side. I'm going to scrap that, and I'm going to replace that now with this. So in this case, sledgehammer. You hit, it's kind of close, but you hit straight on. Now I should have enough resources. This is me on day one as well. Stone axe, and now, like there's no point in me really combining these. This is just for anyone for you that might be viewing. Okay, if one of these was a start, let's say this one was a start item, it would at that point give me a result where here's a better version of the item. In this case, they're both the exact same. I will keep this one. The right thumbstick, if you're playing on PlayStation, will just instantly... In that case, I'll scrap the backup one. And now I have completely fresh ones. Back to searching around Rex's place. There's two little cabins as well, log cabins. These may not always have stuff. I've always seen this small container of food right here. This is a food magazine for cooking. And now I know how to make grilled corn and baked potatoes. Yay! I know if you can hear it, there were zombies right outside. Sometimes this is open, sometimes this is not. Glue and duct tape. Glue and cloth make duct tape. Duct tape is like your best friend in this game. I really want to head. I really want to get out of this area. I'm looking at the time. It's 15, almost 1600 at this point. Okay. I don't want to be building this area, and I won't in the long term, but building blocks. Bedrolls are spawn points. And I'll show you how to make a bedroll in a minute. It used to be they had a tutorial that would show you that. In this case, I want to do, like, how many can I do? Let's do 20. Wait, 4 by 4 would be 16, 32. I need at least 32, if not more. I need more wood in this case. Okay, if I click this over there, I highly recommend building blocks, and building blocks can be reshaped in so many different shapes, even including letters that you can put on other blocks, for example. Designs, there's so many. The basics. I tend to use these top 4. It tends to be this. This, when I'm building poles or circles, for example. Ramps, especially. But for me, the basics. Right now, I want to be able to build like a 4 block by 4 block tower up off the ground so that when nighttime comes, and zombies run at night, when the nighttime comes, I want to be, oh, I want to be off the ground. Even if you have to build alongside a building, you want to be off the ground when nighttime comes. Okay, this is wrecked.
Congratulations. Here's your reward, sucker.
Okay, I am not going to hang out here. Special jobs, the very first job, as much as I want to show you that, again, I like the wasteland is right over there. I don't want any wasteland zombies staggering out of the wasteland. Like don't leave the forest until you're ready. The forest is the beginning area. The wasteland is the end area. There is also an Arctic. There is a desert, and really the next best area after this is a burnt forest. The thing with the burnt forest, though, on any biome except this forest, always start in the forest. And the difficulty with not being in the forest is that as of this 3.1 update, the non-forest biomes can kill you in 3 minutes or less. They're all toxic for your character's lungs. I mentioned the outfitting. Let me talk about the outfits for a second. This is armor. This is the armor. This is the visible outfit you'll be wearing, okay? And actually, I can add to this. I'll add to it in a minute. This is clothing for heat and cold, specifically. This is undergarments, like t-shirts, for example. These outfits, survival gear, specifically, smoke is for the burnt forest, desert gear is to prevent heat stroke, snow gear is to prevent yourself from freezing in the Arctic, and radiation gear is to keep yourself from dying from the radiation poisoning in your lungs in the wasteland that is right over that way. So, now I want to guess there's another. The forest has multiple. It's like Wrecked has twin brothers all over. In this case, here I will do some scavenging. Oh, there's even a zombie right over there. I think the next Wrecked. This is me wanting to. Like I'm too far north at the moment. This is me wanting to get more towards the center of the map. The center of the map would be, and literally this is what I'm looking at right here. This part right here, wherever my cursor is, the closer to the center I can get. If I could get those numbers down to 0. And then really I can do a quick waypoint. And now on my compass, like that's close to the center of the map. Especially here at the very beginning. Mailboxes are your friend. Go ahead and grab mailboxes. This is one of the special skill books I was talking about. Jumping. Learn how to jump quietly. When sneaking, you always land silently, for example. It's a special skill. When I use this, now I have that special skill. And there are sets of books. That was the Urban Combat set. This section is what I'm talking about right here. Perk books. And if I go to Urban Combat, it will highlight. Like there are seven special perks for each set of perk books, and if you get all 7, you get the special perk at the bottom. In this case, if I get all 7 of Urban Combat, silencers have no damage penalty. They normally do. Wasteland Treasure, for example, you get all 7 of these. You can find legendary parts, and that gets into, okay, you may notice, and this is me covering a lot of ground, you may notice there are number 1s under both my weapons and my tools. The gear can rank from 1 to 7. There's more zombies. You may notice I'm not even bothering with the zombies at the moment. This is me playing survival. You can actually set the game so that there are no zombies, but the environmental effects, you still will have to worry about those. 3216. Okay, to make 1 layer of blocks, and that was me, like this is me running, this is me walking. I should be walking unless I'm running. And you may notice, like, already my water is down to 68. My food is down to 74. This is me trying to head towards the center of the map. I really do want to find a road. Zombies, at this point, again, after years of development, zombies can dig. Zombies can crawl through small holes, as it were. There are spider zombies that jump. And again, I don't want to knock down this tree I'm already seeing zombies. This is me trying to keep, again, they call it the heat level. Trying to keep the heat level down. I've only got 5 small rocks. To build a campfire takes 8 small rocks. I'm going to need more small rocks, either harvested or found along the way. You may... Okay, I think that's a crawling zombie. No, that's a walking zombie. Okay, this is me. I should run. These are good for finding honey. Honey is good for fighting off infections. Getting hit by zombies can affect you. The problem is, if you get honey from a tree stump like that and you destroy the tree stump, you might anger bees inside of it, and then you've got to fight off the bees. There's got to be a road south of me. Okay, I'm also noticing nighttime starts at 2200. It is kind of ironic. Hey, you're in a zombie game. Why aren't you fighting the zombies? Well, for one, I don't want to get into trouble for just how graphic it can get sometimes. But more importantly, too, you don't have to fight the zombies on the first couple days. Eventually, at some point, you're going to want to fight them. They have access to all the best gear, for example, effectively. Shoot, I am a little tired, especially with me being thirsty. You will, murky water, if you can help it, you want to find purified water first. Yeah, or a water purifier. There is a helmet. You know what? I haven't even made clothes. Right here, this is an armor creation section. I do strongly suggest, again, this is not in the base tutorial, gloves, a hood, and shoes. And this will kind of complete your armor. This is this is really not pretty. I think I hear more zombies. This is absolutely not pretty, and we'll all look the exact same on day one like this. But it's at least something. I needed more rocks for a campfire, didn't I? The world, by the way, is very very destructible. You can destroy a lot of stuff. You can scavenge a lot of stuff. You can salvage a lot of stuff. You can. There really is there really is a bottom level that you can't dig under, but it is so far underground. So far underground. Okay, I want to walk. Oh, nighttime already. Son of a. Once you find that first trader, my suggestion is either grab a building that's right outside that first trader. Chickens. Chickens would normally be good to eat. If you kill an animal, the zombies will come after the animal first and then you. The problem is they're also eating the food you would normally want to get from that animal. I have found another city! And hopefully another vendor. That would be another wrecked, effectively. He's the only vendor in the forest. The wrecked brothers, effectively. How am I doing in terms of time as well? I really might just have to opt in for climbing a building. And I want 64 building blocks, not just 32. Can I build that many? And reinforce the bottom layers? Probably not. Here, let me build another 16 at least. Okay. My initial suggestion, one of the things I like to do at first, is basically take a... And this is what I mean by building blocks. Like, here's a tower. And then build yourself at least 3 blocks up. Like, you can build yourself a little tower 3 blocks up. Now, if I'd stayed near wrecked, you would actually see me building that near wrecked. But I've been dumb. And now I'm down here. Okay. By the way, in terms of streaming this, I literally am only going to stream this until day 2 morning. In this case, I actually do have some friends that are waiting. There's another chicken, another zombie. That one of these, there might be a zombie hiding near that ambulance. If I try to check out that ambulance, a zombie might very well pop up at that point. Another zombie there. Whew. I was really hoping I could find another. Okay, I think I am practically south. Oof, I'm kind of running out of time. I mentioned mailboxes are your friend. Mailboxes are where you can grab magazines. I'm not even going to stick around. These jack-o'-lanterns, that's right, day one. Like now that's a light source. Not a heat source, but a light source. Okay, it turns out the very center of the map is centrally located in the forest. Trailer parks and farms. The reason I avoided the farms... Oh, this is good, actually. You are encumbered. Encumbered means, like, A, I'll be slightly slower, but arguably, more importantly, B, I need more food and water for as long as I'm encumbered. So, I need to ditch some of this. I can read that. Paper can be used. There are scents in this game that will cause zombies to run at you. If you eat food, you may have noticed I haven't eaten my food yet. Once I eat food, there will be a smell. The characters get smelly from eating. Apparently, we're very, very bad eaters. Apparently, we've forgotten how to use forks and knives and spoons and all of that. Okay, I actually need to concentrate a bit at this point because... you may or may not be noticing it. 2200 is nighttime, and it's 2100 right now. Okay, Motel 8. Literally, Motel 9, 8, 9. The Dead Rooster. I might climb up on the side of that building just for tonight at the moment. I was really hoping to find Wrecked, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to find him before nighttime. Okay. Let's see how this goes. There's skull ratings for areas indicating just how dangerous the areas are, really. How tough the zombies in the area are going to be. If you're going to get yourself off the ground, and again, really, I prefer... being at least 3. In this case, I'll put myself 4 up. Now, the problem is there are zombies right on the other side of this wall. And, of course, he goes right under where I'm at. I was already crouching without describing what I'm doing. By crouching, you make yourself harder to find. In this case, that zombie is already zeroed in on me, kind of. I'm hoping he doesn't stay that way all night, because it is literally about to be night. There are physics in this game. If I build this out too far, this whole like fake ledge I've built on this will fall down. Okay. Okay, green, the eye indicator that is over here, and I'll go over here so I can do it. This is a how visible you are when you're crouching, and I don't need to be I don't need to be running. On the PlayStation, for me at least, crouching is the right trigger, and running around quickly is the left trigger. Pushing down on them. Okay, notice he's gone quiet. With that eye being green, that means I don't believe any zombies are detecting me. Oh no, I forgot to get... I don't have enough plant fiber for a bedroll. Okay, that's okay. Let's do this. Let's take that off. And if I scrap this, I really don't want to go downstairs. Or off the side of this building at this point. Literally in less than a half hour in game, which is like... by the way, days in this are 1 hour long. So a full 24-hour period is 1 hour of gameplay. This live stream only really going to last less than an hour, even in this case. Oh, I need 10. Okay. In this case, what I will do is I got one out of that. I will take these right back off. I do suggest having these on, um, but in this case, I need them for a bedroll, and a bedroll is needed for. I really should have. I really should. I probably could have broken this as well, but I like the idea of a light source. The stone axe that you picked up, by the way, you saw me destroying stuff with it. Not only can you destroy stuff with it, on PlayStation at least, if you use the L2, the left trigger, you can reinforce things. And now it takes you resources to do so. Okay, I think that's the guy that was looking for me a little while ago, and it's almost night. But this is me reinforcing this little ledge on this building so that I can set down a bedroll. Bedrolls are not just spawn points. They also keep zombies, not the zombies that are already there. In this case, like there are zombies inside this place. But when I set down this bedroll, any other zombies like that would randomly spawn near me won't. Now, before you set down, and again, for me, this on place. First of all, it's nighttime. Any zombies, like that one that's wandering in the parking lot, if he finds me, he will start running at me. Zombies run at night by default in this game. Before I set down this, one other thing. Even though they call it shape, you can change. I don't necessarily like having just a generic bedroll. So there. And you may have seen there was like a border around it. Now, no zombies will spawn within a certain radius of my bedroll being here. I don't even know if this place will count for questing at the traders. But in this case, this is not an ideal. This is not how I wanted to start this playthrough. I have to say, kind of crouched hidden up on a building. Okay. But, I mean, day one, survivors can't be choosers sometimes. So, inventory, how this works. This is inventory I can naturally just be walking around with. These extra spots down here are really your full inventory. And between perks or gear, or armor mods specifically, armor mods, perks, and I want to say there are, like, as of this update, there's a food called chicken nuggets, where if you make the chicken nuggets, they will just let you complete, like you can just fill up this, like all of this is now inventory. You can carry this whole full inventory for up to 6 minutes, I believe, is the duration. So, a new food. I think I did grab a jack-o'-lantern head, so let's actually... I don't think... Here, I'll even turn it this way in this case. A little light. So I've got a little light, a sleeping bag. It's actually... Again, the stone axe is really a decent all-around tool. I tend to use for a while. Okay. So I'm relatively safe. Here's the difficulty. You have to eat. You have to drink. I only have... Now, I did find an extra food on this. But in terms of if I draw up water from... Empty cans can be used for water, but that's going to be murky water. The vendors specifically, I strongly suggest when you first find the trader, unlike me, do the special quest if it's there. He will have you do what's called a... There's 3 types of questing that traders can give you. Buried quests, 4 actually, now that I think about it. Buried quests, fetch quests, clear quests. Buried treasure, you literally dig, and that's why he initially rewards you with a stone shovel, because the buried treasure quest, you dig down to find a food stash. When you're doing the buried quests, not for the very first one, but every buried quest you do after that, every time the circle shrinks, zombies will spawn to attack you. Make make sure you leave yourself a way to get out of the hole that you're digging if you're doing buried quests. Leave yourself an exit you can get out of. I have one friend that just likes to dig straight down, and I've had some people watch him do that. I'm like, don't follow that example. He's an agility build, and I let me talk about the stats in this case. Let me go over to stats. Can you see the depth? I mean, I've thrown out so many seeds of wisdom in this case. There's such a depth to this game. I'm not being paid to do this, by the way. This is not a paid promotion. This is simply a game that I've enjoyed off and on over the past years. Kind of like before this, I was doing a permadeath run of Fallout 4. This is me starting, literally day one, starting a permadeath run of 7 Days to Die on a dedicated server on this custom world called HostelZ. You too could be playing on this, not on my particular world, but you can do your own version of this world simply by naming the world seed HostelZ. Capital H O S T E L, capital Z. One word. You'll literally be playing the exact same world type that I am playing right now. Can you hear the moaning of zombies? I think it's the one that was searching for me earlier. But again, it's nighttime. They'll be running. There's so much more I could go into. So much more. I will go over the skills at this point. I should be safe. Everything in the world is destructible by you and zombies. This game is called 7 Days to Die because on the 7th day, in this case, I like randomizing it. You can randomize a lot of variables about this game. I like randomizing it anywhere between the 7th day and the 14th day, basically giving myself a randomized, so I don't know exactly when the 7th day is going to happen in this case. But on the 7th day, zombie hordes, zombies will constantly spawn near you. They will constantly try to run at you. They will constantly try to be killing you. You want to set up horde bases is what they call them, or it's known as the Blood Moon. Set up Blood Moon base, set up someplace that can survive, and again, all of this is destructible. Like this, if I hit it, like the bricks have 1200 health, the wood has 500. Arguably, on the 7th day, a zombie horde could smash through this building. They always seem to know exactly where you are. These days, a long time ago, they wouldn't dig downward. These days, they will. They will dig you up from underground if they need to. They will try to take the most direct, easiest path to get to you. And on the 7th day, they are relentless. You cannot stop them, ever. They will keep going. That I'm paraphrasing. You know what I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure, if you know some of the classic movies in that case. But in any case, this is called 7 Days to Die because on the 7th day, a horde of zombies will attempt. They will always know where you're at. Sneaking is pointless, pretty much. They will always know where you're at. You will want to be setting up a specific base to help you deal with them. At this point in game, I have only about 3.5 hours left. When morning comes, I do have friends that are waiting for me. At that point, I'll be ending my stream for sure. I'll then be opening this server up for my friends. It's going to be you should be able to find HostelZ on the global servers for this game, but I do password protect it. If you want to play on the server as well, my email, I'm on Gmail, eldergamesmaster@gmail.com. Persuade me. Play collaboratively. I am an admin. There's absolutely, as admin, and thankfully in many games, admin can ban people. Admin can just flat out eliminate, end troublemakers, for example. And this game, again, they've had over 10 years to develop it. They have some really good admin commands if needed. I never want to do this. You may notice, by the way, I mentioned before, this could be important to some people, there's a third-person perspective and a first-person perspective. I don't even remember how to flip between the two of those, but if you're one of those people that like playing in third person, there is a version of this. If you like playing, I like immersing myself. I like being in first person. It it makes it easier to use some of the real world skills that I might be safely employing in game worlds like this. I will put it that way. In any case, so far I'm doing okay. I almost want to have some. Maybe around 3 o'clock in the morning I'll have some food. At which point the zombie will probably get upset, and at which point the zombie might try destroying his way to me. At that point, or at least running around under me. The other way to have built up, by the way, this is why I have 39 more of these, is to just build a tower. Like you can build up into the sky. There is falling damage that can kill you or break your legs, for example. But I recommend, I'm about 4, and in the game, and again, like these are meters effectively, but the blocks themselves are about 3 by 3 by 3, you may notice. And I'm about 4 blocks off the ground. Zombies, humans, again, we're about, medium-sized people are about 2 blocks tall. There are a few zombies that crawl around on all fours. Any zombie, as of this update, any zombie of any height will crouch down to break through. Like if that zombie downstairs breaks through, let's say this block right here, like this part of the wall, like if he managed to break through this wall, and I think I don't have the, oh, I'm hitting it again. I would need cobblestone. Cobblestone is just dirt. They don't even call it dirt. They call it clay these days. Clay is dirt. If you mix clay and stone, you got that cobblestone, and then I could repair this wall. You can repair walls as zombies are breaking them. You repair doors as zombies are breaking them. Again, on PlayStation here, it's the left trigger button. But if you're doing repairs, you can literally over repair something, so that the zombies take that much longer trying to break through it to get to you. The different types of skills. Something. Oh, there's another. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me. I find it ironic. I don't think they're going to notice me up here. Anyway, even if they notice me, at this point, I should be good for the night. Breaking through cobblestone like this, especially with day 1 zombies, not as hard to. Especially with, again, I'm in, and it's listed in the upper right-hand corner. This whole. It's a 1 skull area. I believe these can go up to 5 or 6 skulls. You get up to that. There are skyscrapers to break into. I believe those are absolutely 5 skull areas, for example. The zombies are far more difficult. But I was going to talk about stats, the skills, the current breakdowns, and there's a newer breakdown, if not newest, for example. I am going to be leaning into intelligence. Arguably, it's the hardest skill to start with. It's robots, which I can't build until later, and electrocutioner is batons. There are police batons and stun batons, specifically. They're really hard at the start, but later on, the stun batons especially build up electrical charges, which can then stun things. Every stat has 2 weapons. In this case, I'm going intelligence, which is robots for later, and then batons, which arguably are also for later. I'm making this extra hard myself here at the beginning. I like intelligence for 2 reasons. Daring adventurer. Eventually, once I can get myself down to a 10 intelligence, you have to get all the skills ahead of time, but once I can get to daring adventurer at the bottom on the right above, it says pick 2 quest rewards every time I'm doing a trader quest. One of the reasons I like to specialize, and I suggest, it doesn't have to be intelligence, I suggest specializing. Again, maybe a point into cooking, maybe a point into one of the armors you're using. Primitive armor starts as light armor. By the way, maybe lucky looter if you like looting, if scavenging is your thing. Okay. But pick one of these stats to go with. Oh, there's another zombie down there. Again, I'm crouched. I'm not running, so I'm not burning through my food. I don't know if you noticed, but here on day 1, my food's already at like half. So, in any case, I like daring adventurer. Physician. You would think physician is good. Look at the lowest level. Each blow landed with a stun baton has a 10% chance for instant done. But again, takes a 10 intelligence to do this. These 2 are primarily why, and by starting with intelligence, the faster I can get 2 rewards every time I'm finishing a quest for a trader. Do you see where I'll be doubling up my loot from them? Also, and I think this is newer, every stat has masteries, okay? Which is based on, like, once I can hit intelligence level 6, now vehicles take less damage and consume less fuel. Any vehicle I drive. Bookworm for me, this is a big one. Add 25% chance to find a book, magazine, or schematic in any loot. It's trash, it's a dumpster, it's it's a book. So it doesn't have to be bookshelves and bookstores for me anymore. This could be anything. Another reason why I like intelligence. Photographic memory, 50% chance that I get double the skill points when I'm reading, or an extra skill point when reading magazines. Not the special perk books, but and actually these ones right here. These are the like, I want to build a forge. I literally need one more book to build a forge, for example. Food. This is cooking, learning to cook. To cook all these foods, you have to learn these. This is all done with magazines. Okay, I have. It's. I can even. There's even a little zombie way over there. Okay, I'm not going to eat food right now. I will. I will eat food. There's less than a half hour to go. When I eat this food now. And then I'll get back to the stats. The masteries are important. Okay, now over here, this right here, it's in red because that's bad. Zombies up to, and they use M for meters, I'm sure, but if you think of it as block distance, it's almost like it's like some other famous game that does a lot of building, block building. In any case, this means out to 23 blocks worth of distance. I think I might be centered on that, so it might not be as bad. I want to say I'm actually the center point, so it really might be 10 blocks all around me. For having eaten that, now zombies will start running at me. Like if I were on the ground, even with me not being on the ground at this point, it's food, the cents stack, by the way. If I eat this food right here, this 25 adds to that 19. Don't eat a bunch of food at once. Eat moderately, or you're going to attract every zombie that might be near you, that is spawned in near you. I don't think, because I haven't opened the door, I don't know if the zombies in this building have spawned in yet. And by the way, 4 a.m. is the morning. This is almost done. Let me go back and talk about masteries real quick. Again, if you're going to be playing this game, does not have to be intelligence. Strength, shotguns, and the clubs, and the sledgehammer, for example. Very, very. These are all viable. I've used fortitude before. Fortitude is being able to take hits. Fortitude mastery at the end. 50 health and another 50 health. I'm only at 100 health. This will practically double your health if you master in fortitude, for example. Perception. Perception mastery is good for. This is for finding stuff. Find extra cash in stuff. Harvest steel. Steel is a very rare resource. Spears and rifles are the two primary weapons for this. You cause bleeding. Long shot. Just rifles straight up do 50% more damage. Agility is the last one. Parkour, by the way, helps with falling damage and for jumping higher. Bleeding hearts. Bows now cause bleeding, for example. Handguns reload faster. Piercing precision. You bypass armor. Do you see where all of the masteries, and I think these are newer. The masteries you have to have, just the very verse alone, like 6, 7, all of these are like 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can follow with masteries at this point. So, in any case, though, it is after 4 a.m. I need to find a trader. I need to open up the server so my friends can join me at this point. Hopefully, you have had a good. Hopefully, you've had a good time watching this. In this case, no, I didn't fight any zombies. You don't have to on day 1. In any case, if you're thinking about playing this game, I've enjoyed it. It's a very in-depth game. There's way more depth to it than I've even talked about at this point. But at this point, I do need to get going. Hopefully you had a good time watching. Find your inspirations.